example of an outrageous way that you met a rich man by design.
Several years ago, well, I was single, and I was working as a stockbroker, and I had a client in Austin who wanted to have a tax shelter, which tax shelters have to be in the mail by December 31st, midnight. So I drove to Austin from Dallas, signed him up on a tax shelter, put it in the mail, and my daughter and I suddenly looked at each other and said, "This is New Year's Eve. What on earth are we going to do on New Year's Eve?" So we drove over to San Antonio, and everything was closing down. We didn't know what we were going to do, where we were going to go. And we realized we were kind of meandering around in a residential area when suddenly we saw this beautiful gold Mercedes turn the corner and stop in front of this house where a porch light was on. Well, it was obvious the man was coming after his date. And I said, "Oh, what a cute man." Now, John, I have to confess, I think all men are absolutely darling. And so I thought, I want to meet this man. Not only that, but my daughter said, "Well, they know where something is going on." So when he got his date, we followed them. And they ended up going to a tall office building, and they went inside. And of course, we could tell they'd gone up to the top floor of the building because that's where the light and the action was going on. We parked our car, went up there, and the door was locked. About that time, the elevator door opened, and this older couple, who looked as if they'd been drinking since noon, got off the elevator and came toward the door, and when they opened the door, we just said, "Happy New Year," and went in the building. Promptly got on the elevator, went up to the top floor, and crashed a private party. We walked past the girl who was taking up invitations saying, "Happy New Year," and disappeared into the throng. John, I looked and I looked all night long and I could not find them. I met a lot of wonderful people, even kissed some people Happy New Year, met the host. You know, "I crashed your party." He was very nice about it, though. The next day, though, it bothered me that I never met the man. Well, a few weeks passed and it was still on my mind, and I thought, what am I going to do? So I called the secretary of the host, who had also been at the party, and described the man and the car, and she said, "I don't know if he has a Mercedes or not, but that description sounds like Charlie so-and-so." I called his home number, and this little machine came on, and it went something close to this. It said, "Hello, Charlie isn't here right now, but if you'll leave your name and number, he'll gladly call you back." Well, I hung up, and I thought, and I thought, and I thought, and I thought, a wrong number. Yeah, that's how I'll meet him. I'll leave an enticing message that's a wrong number. So I sat down and I wrote out this script, and I realized that men love romance. Men are very romantic. And so I thought, I have to let him know I'm romantic. I have to let him know I'm in his age range. I have to let him know that I'm desirable by other men because, you know, he couldn't see me. He had no idea what I looked like. So if he thinks I'm desirable by other men, he'll think I look okay. And finally, I have to let him know that even though I'm desired by someone else, I am available. So I came up with this little script that contained all those qualities. And I called down there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon one day when I knew he was at work, and his little machine came on and it said, "Hello, Charlie isn't here right now, but if you'll leave your name and number, he'll gladly call you back." And I said, what a funny message. "Hi, Chuck." That was the name I had come up with. "Chuck, this is Ginie. I just want to thank you for flying up to Dallas for my surprise birthday party." It wasn't even near my birthday. "I like being 39. And I just want to say that I'm sorry about the conversation we had at the airport. Please don't be mad. Please call me. Bye." Click. Well, how could he call me? Yeah. So then I waited 2 weeks and I wrote out another script and called at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I knew he wasn't there. And the little machine came on and it said, "Hello, Charlie isn't here right now, but if you'll leave your name and number, he'll gladly call you back." So I said, "Hi, Chuck, this is Ginie again. Gosh, I guess you really are mad about our conversation at the airport. You said that I like single life, and that's not really true. It's just that I think there should be more between two people than just friendship. And we've been friends for so long, let's not spoil it now. Please call me. Bye." Click. Well, how could he call me? You know, there was no number. Well, I waited 2 more weeks, and John, I really didn't know what I was going to do. So I called down there to just kind of see if I could get some ideas as to what to do. And this was about 2 weeks later. And surely enough, his little machine came on and it said,
"Charlie can't come to the phone. but if you will leave your message at the tone, I will point him to it. If this happens to be Ginie calling, Charlie asked me to ask you to please leave your number, and he'll be glad to call you back. He says he is not mad about the airport conversation, but needs your number to call you. Thank you.
At that point, I was just kind of shaking, like this, and I hung up the phone and I thought, nobody will believe me. So I got in the car and went down to an electronics store and said, do you have any phone bugging device that I can record on my phone? So they gave me a little suction cup connection, and I went back and I called, and I have it on tape. My husband's even heard it. So then I thought, now what am I going to do? And I called back and I said, I think I have the wrong number, but my name is Ginie Polo, and I'm a stockbroker at thus and such, and my telephone number is so and so and so. Well, he called the very next day, and he said, listen, I'm going to be in Dallas on Thursday. Do you think you'd like to meet during happy hour? And I said, yes. And I went the next day, and surely enough, he walked in, and it was the wrong man, but it was a wonderful man, and he turned out to be very wealthy. And we dated all through that spring, all through that summer, and I even spent Labor Day weekend at his ranch in South Texas.